Alright, let's do this. Good morning, everyone. I think. Yeah, it's morning, and late afternoon. How is everyone doing today? Excellent. Excellent. You know, I still haven't forgiven you guys for making me think that Thursday was Friday. Don't worry, don't worry. More punishment will be coming. See, this is the good thing about having inelastic demand. Because I really can and really will do whatever I want. And it makes my life dramatically easier, you know? Yes, I did get another email. How did you know? Is it because you sent it? Yes, it is. Am I going to open it and find literally nothing, how do you say? Interesting. I am, aren't I? Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, okay. I'm okay with that. I think. Well, okay. If you really want to sponsor, like, actually, let me think about that. That might actually be kind of interesting. Yeah, if you want to sponsor a cast of me talking shit about myself, I think I can make that work. So put together the money, find yourself a nice corporation, or develop yourself a nice corporation, and let's do it. All right, so last week we ended this our squirrels shenanigans. We ended it with sort of a nice stalemate on basically every side except for this far eastern area. And just to refresh our memories, we had cavalry that came down on the rear of the collective. The collective line was here. It came down on the rear of it and almost nibbled away. They were almost nibbled away by all the Pomeranians that the technocracy brought along. And so it's interesting, right? Like the idea that, oh yeah. So that was because the technocracy managed to break through across the railway, and part of that was because they wanted to cut off this salient, right? And the salient is getting a little bit, shall we call it salient, but I'm sorry, that's such a terrible joke. It is well, it's not even a joke. It's just a pun, and it's a bad pun. It's okay if you don't get it. Just forget it. Let's move on. The idea is now our friend General Field Commissar Field Marshal Thatcher of the First Army is now considering abandoning the salient because reinforcements are able to sort of hop off the train in this area. So having a concentration of force here will only do so much, especially once the technocratic artillery come back. Because once the artillery is back, they can completely close down this area, and that makes it basically not worth it to continue to hold on. And so we'll see that essentially happening, I think, today. Where's my layers? Layers here. Good. Okay. Questions before I start? Not that kind of question. No, okay, how about you guys ask some questions that I can actually like respond to in chat, right? Like keep it civil and keep it NDA friendly so that I can respond to it. But like if you refuse, that's fine too. I'm not gonna be mean about it, unlike some people. Well, there we are. So today the first thing we're gonna do is we're going to finish the eastern area, and then we'll talk about the withdrawal, and then we'll see at the offensive that's coming down on this end and on that end. At least for 27. Oh right, you can't see that anymore because that's not part of the screen. Oh well. Tough luck. Well, it is tough. Okay, so first things first. It's okay. We'll start on the right side this time. The 20th. It's moved in that direction. This has enlarged a little. Oops. This has enlarged a little. 32nd has enlarged a little. Oops. Excuse me. Okay, there we go. So what we're going to see is essentially we're going to see a concentrated counterattack coming out of the collective once it has sort of stopped the attack of the first. I should bind my mouse button. Actually, let's see what I can do about that. Give me one quick second. General user interface tools, keyboard shortcuts. Oh, is there no edit, undo? Oh, I can't do more shortcuts. Ah, okay. Oh, but this uses a different Logitech. God damn it. So Logitech has apparently two different softwares for its what am I saying? For its hardware. And I have two separate pieces of Logitech hardware I had two pieces of Logitech hardware that are now essentially incompatible because, or they're not incompatible, but rather the same software can control both, so I'd have to install both. But of course I didn't because I don't know. Oh wait. Let's see, so that's that, this is this. Excellent. The second is now moving in this direction. So the idea is it wants to clear this part of the harbor, right? And once it is able to do so, it is able to, how do we say? This is a closer-ish supply position, but it's closer to the south. So for a future attack towards the south, you do want to open this up. And we are actually going to start the counterattack. It turns out that so this has crossed into this area. And there will be a counterattack in this direction. And a counterattack in this direction. And so you can see sort of the idea of the 52nd Corps, right? Like a quick punch towards this area, close off the key, and then these two formations are going to be in a little bit of pain. In fact, we're going to have the security division also come out. Let me bring out another one. Yeah, like that. So first security, not division, what am I saying? Security brigade. And this is just rare echelon security elements. They're not really, and no, it's can you imagine if the SEC were here? No, it's not the SEC. Speaking of, isn't one of our boys going in front of the SEC soon. Good luck. So yeah, so the security elements are just gonna push across here and attempt to stop reinforcements from the second. It's going to try to at least just hold itself across this area, this line, and this line, so that retreats by these two aren't feasible. And yeah, excellent. Now let's. Oh right. Hello. Oh, just something dropped in the living room. It's all good. So that's there, and now we'll have to talk about the retreat. So that is a retreat that's going to happen, and it's going to happen in stages, right? We're going to have the first stage be a retreat to. I need a different kind of line, I think. I'm gonna have it to this line. Not that line. Come on. Vectors. There we go. I have too many vector items in this file, and so that's what makes it a little bit more difficult. But that's okay. We'll deal with it. I'll do that one. Close hard corners, and obviously it should be red. So first phase, and then we'll do another in the second phase like this. And so essentially we're giving up the rail ahead, but what that allows us to do is free up an excessive amount of formations for future work. Come on. There we go. Oh, it should be like this. There we go. Yeah, good point. We will have to do another composition soon, because otherwise this is the music is getting kind of boring, isn't it? Well, it's getting boring for me because I can see the in the bottom right of my screen I can see the notifications. Actually, I'm just gonna turn it off. That way I don't even care. Well, you can always tell me if it gets really bad, and then I'll deal with it. Yeah. Just scream at me or something. Actually, 1 second. I feel like the. Oh wait, no, that's not it. No, it's a filter. My bad. The filter. Suppression level. I wonder if this makes it a little bit better. No. Oh, I'm just talking about towards the audio to Twitch. Looks like it's a tad unbalanced, but it's okay. There's only one person. There's only one person. That's and his opinion doesn't really matter to us, does it? Well, no. Like the average Twitch viewer, of course their opinion matters. It's the person that got himself kicked off of whatever whatever platform he was in, whose opinion doesn't matter to us. Anyway, so we're pulling essentially now 3 formations out, or maybe not 3. Let's call it 2, because these 2 are going to come out, and the 62nd is just going to swing into this line, and just take that line, right? And it makes sort of sense. It makes a little bit of sense, because it is like, if we cannot guarantee that the unloading point here is safe, then there is really no point to continuing to use continuing to defend this salient, because if you can free up two more divisions, right, there is a lot you can do with it, and we will actually see Field Marshal Thatcher. Yeah, exactly. One second. Okay. Yeah, I mean, part of the reason why they originally kept the salient was because there was the 20th division that was surrounded down here, and now that it's out too. Okay, so this is settled. Now we're going to move this into this area. And essentially the point is now, instead of doing the... Come on. There we go. Instead of doing the being stuck behind and trying to attack thing, the 4th division is now going to clear out this tiny little salient here. And of course, with 2 artillery brigades, it's artillery regiments, makes it laughably easy, because there's so much fire saturation that there... Yeah, exactly. Like the attack essentially goes itself because of how much just like sheer explosives you're dumping onto the enemy. Let me just leave this. And that's good. We've talked about this, and we're going to plop one here. Of course, it's not going to be called the 327th. It's going to be called something. I am descriptive, aren't I? The 154. So unlike for the technocracy, brigades in the collective aren't considered independent formations. So in the technocracy, you would expect a brigade to be able to function essentially on its own. But that's not so the case for the collective. So the main brigade of the 36 remains in there. I'm gonna bring this one in as well. This isn't technically what's happening, because this is technically what am I trying to say? These are technically more regimental level units, at least in this area, but it suffices. Let's call it 175. There we go. Excellent. Okay. So brigade 175. So I think the idea is clear, right? Like the technocracy is going to come and attack in this direction, but the collective is ready, and so that's we still have to do the attack. Completely forgot about that. You know, my computer is not that old, but it's still like it's still bogging down at this. So it's not the 11th that will attack, but rather the 19th, and the 19th is gonna essentially go through this little area, while the 11th does a diversionary push out this way. That should be 5 diversionary. Bring this down. And this is just to suppress the collective elements on the Financial Times tower. I don't. The artillery that the squirrels are using, I don't think is effective enough to bring down the Financial Times building. I didn't realize you hated the FT that much. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's the reporters of the FTF said some very terrible things. But I didn't realize the hatred was quite that strong. Preemptive hatred. Okay, all right. I mean, I don't think that's a thing. I No, I don't think that's a thing. Bro, you're gonna have to find a better argument. Yeah, no, you're gonna have to find a better argument. Putting that out there. Okay, so the first part of this day is now complete. Yes. Now let's move on to the second of 4. I did indeed say that, yes, you're right. I did indeed say that today's broadcast was going to be longer. I'm not sure if that's going to be the case still. Simply because I'm tired and sleepy. We'll see. Okay, so second part of this day. So obviously, because the collective, especially Hardbark himself, has made provisions for everything, it has actually this attack is not going in at all. So that's actually quite interesting, right? Because it's the first time, or maybe not the first time, but like the second. No, let's say the first real time that a properly planned offensive. No, that's not true either. The first real time was the attack down in this direction. But this at least moved the front lines. So this is the first time that the front line didn't even move. Right? So there was enough fire support from this area, that the charge by the 19th simply got nowhere. Oops. Yeah, it got nowhere. And that's gonna earn our friend Hardbark some brownie points. Especially since he's about to lose this. So the 5th is being driven across and has to retreat like that. This area is now properly back within collective technocratic control. And the 4th is now sitting astride here. Oh, what is this? And there's now a further attack on this area. Come on. Excellent. Excuse me. And a move up by the artillery. Like this. So artillery, the second is going to move into this direction to aid in that attack. The 23rd is going to attack in this direction, and essentially it's just a almost standard concentric attack on the base of an enemy. Let me just oh, that's horrendous. Why is it like that? It's supposed to be 3-point, like. Am I unable to do that? Oh, okay, maybe that's the case. Like that. This is 3300, 3300. No break. Like that. Okay. We're good. So, you know, essentially just a very basic concentric attack, and the idea is to drive the 11th past the London Wall line, and then drive the 5th past, clear up this line so that this entire army has some more room to maneuver, because now it can use its resources properly. That goes away. Like that. Excellent. No changes here. Changes here. So this goes like that. The 6th has essentially fully withdrawn into the rear. The 9th is now in this position. This is going to be a confusing situation on that. The 50th has now moved its own headquarters up here. Because keeping in mind, the 50th is also responsible for these two. So we're going to have... And this is actually going to play into this area as well. We're going to have the 60th essentially attack across like this. While this happens on this side. So Thatcher's coordinating a big counterattack, and we're going to see whether that can actually get into the rear of this, which would be quite interesting, right? It would also be the first time that the technocracy suffers a very... I guess that's also not true. No, they've suffered some big losses already in the past. So 56th Corps, 50th Corps, 52nd. I think we're good. Yeah, this is good. This is the next day. Does it sound like I'm losing my voice? What does everyone else think? Because, yeah, I didn't realize it when I first started streaming today. But it does feel a little bit like my voice is going kind of differently. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. I'm genuinely not. But you know what? It's fine. It's fine. Let me just... 1 second. Oh, because you're not making a noise, I can't do that. Ah, that's annoying. Okay. That's okay. Don't worry about it, nothing happened. just don't worry about it. It's all good. All right, it's all good. Well, no, the problem is that I have to deal with some some amount of work that popped up during the stream, and I don't feel like ending the stream. So I just want to see if I can do both at the same time. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna work. So I'll focus on the stream, but we might not get time to. Actually, no. You know what? We will. We will. We are. Good question. And I guess I didn't specify, but what we are actually going to do is finish up this, and then I want to talk about the military question I had posed last week to the internet, and talk about my own interpretation of what it could be. Right? There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing. Let me just double check one thing. The attack had started here. Okay. So the 8th Corp is in a little bit of trouble. It is getting... In short, it is getting very, very difficult. Especially because the point of these attacks isn't strictly to drive the divisions themselves back, but rather to open up a space into the rear. Right? Because imagine what happens if you're able to take this crossing and this crossing. These two are essentially surrounded, right? And that's sort of the point. The 6th remains in... Like, even if you were to take this opening, the 30th would be surrounded, and that's terrible. That's terrible. For technocracy, a full division is a big deal. You know, as it stands, there is still some hope of defense, but we're going to start seeing it go interestingly. Let's put it that way. So what happened here? Essentially, the 31st pushed across like this. Because there was very little actual stuff here, right? There was like a few regiments at most. So the 31st is advancing quite strongly on both north and south of the East Smithfield line. This line is gone. This line is gone. The security elements have made themselves at home in here, and on top of these buildings gives such good sniping of the area that it forces the 2nd Pomeranian to go along this road if it wants to, and it does. But what happens if you channel it along that road? Well, what happens if you have another force here, right? And again, these forces aren't very good in field combat, but they don't really have to be. And that's the beauty of it, right? They don't have to be. All they have to do is exact a toll on whoever's coming, and that they're beautifully able to do. So the 1st Pomeranian was fairly bloodied by the 63rd, which is now in the process of driving in this direction. And they are... One quick second. Need to get this. And the 1st Pomeranian is sort of retreating in this direction. And now the 20th is in a bit of trouble, right? Because its own rear is being very, very strongly threatened. There's some of this going on, there's some of this going on. And the idea is between the 40th and the 31st, if one of them can get into the rear of the 25th, then that's basically the end of these three at least. And the second is only now coming back because, you know, it's accomplished its line. It tried to go towards this. Oops. It tried to go towards the south, but that was a bad choice. So it's now going along this road, right? And as a brigade, like, they're about equal amounts of rifles on either side, but cavalry doctrine basically means that if you don't have to fight, don't fight. And so now it's going in this direction. Of course, it doesn't realize that there's another formation just waiting for it. And so we're going to essentially see this completely blocked off. Oops. I am having a lot of fun. I cannot deny that. Well, part of it is just, this is like, I described it to a friend of mine in this way. This is basically like playing with toy soldiers, right? And oh, actually, give me one quick second. I'll be right back. Okay, never mind. I'm good. Yeah. Don't worry about it. It was something else, but we're okay. Okay, so suddenly this entire position has been blown open because there's just more manpower, right? This even if you bring in both dragoon brigades and you use them as rifles, there's still a 4 to 3 or 4 to 2.5 bonus, and the technocracy has been losing squirrels as they move forward and losing supplies, so it ends up being quite even of a battle. Well, I say even, but that's mostly because it is the defensive. You still get a bonus from the defensive, right? And it's still like they're still using. If you guys remember, we talked about Thatcher's concentrated battalion attack method. They're still doing that, so that's still ongoing. Yeah, exactly. And if they're able to do that, then there's no reason why they cannot. Excuse me. There's no reason why they cannot go really, really hard on it. Okay, so that's C done, and then we're going to do. What can I duplicate? There we go. Duplicate the last part of this day. And we are only at 38 minutes. Excellent. That means we might not even have to go overtime. Yes. So let's start on the right side because it's fun. This goes to 3. So the brigade, as it's trying to rush across, didn't end up getting anywhere. So it is now retreating back. And keep in mind, right, like it doesn't really have proper communications with its corp headquarters. It can through here, and there is, you know, some amount of communication, but right now command and control isn't great, so the second has to just retreat to this, essentially retreat here or retreat here and dig in. And the easiest way to preserve your formations is to retreat closer to the way home, right? So the second is going to retreat in this direction. Having said that, if it retreated in this direction, it might have made a difference up here, but it didn't, so it won't. Both headquarters are drawing back. Third Army. Unfortunately, these haven't come through, so just want to make that very clear. Let those remain sort of... This remains a compressed area, but there's still some tough fighting ahead. So the 16th has sort of rebalanced itself. Oof. I don't have a place to put the core headquarters. We'll just compress it and put it here. There we go. Oops. Okay, so that's good. The 20th is retreating in this direction. Followed pretty closely by the 23rd. The 1st was retreated down here, and it is now moving in this direction. Now, the 1st having moved in this direction, that makes it a little bit difficult, right? Because if there's any amount of person that can come in, just like block that, then the 1st brigade is in deep trouble, because there's not really a lot of ways for it to move. But the original decision to retreat in this, of course, makes sense because it breaks contact, visual contact, at least with the enemy. Like that. Excellent. Check. That's good. That's good. This has changed. The 6 guards is moved in here. The 9th has retreated to Army Reserve. And you can't really commit it into this because this is already full, so there's not much that it could do. I'm gonna have essentially the 60-second slide into this area, and do this. Excellent. I'm gonna have one of these arrows. This is just to show that the retreat for the 60-second was essentially free. No, we'll have this. So now the 8th Division is going to swing over, the 2nd Army is going to take over this particular line, and that frees up the 2nd Corps to really come in this direction. So the question is, right, should Thatcher have pulled back on his salient while this is ongoing, or should he have waited and tied up these 3 formations, or these 2 formations, right? And I'm not sure, actually. Because will these 2 formations come in time? And like, if this were able to break through, then of course we would see a lot of very interesting effects down the line. It hasn't yet. That doesn't mean it won't. But because the 40th is already here, right? It can help them certainly break through. But what will that mean? Who knows? Second Corps is busy moving, transferring troops in the direction of the front. And you know, it's interesting, right? Like, we essentially, Lloyd George had given up all of this area, And he's now in the process of at least maneuvering to get it all back. Will he come back all the way to Tower Gateway? I'm not sure. Because originally this was the line. Well, some down here. This was the line here, right? And will he come back to it? We don't know. Give me one quick second. Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. Just take out order. Are you saying that I'm not allowed to eat? Is that what's going on? Yeah, no. They're just telling me that they'll be late and they're very sorry and that they're gonna give me a 50% discount. All wonderful stuff. So this attack obviously has not gone anywhere. This attack has had some effect, but it hasn't yet had the effect that that General Elm of the Second Army really wants, which is to push the entire division north of that line. So we will continue to see what happens. Yeah. Okay. This is good. Excellent. The fourth moves up a little. Continues attacking in that direction. Nothing happens there. Nothing happens there. Good. Okay. So, oh wait. 1 second. Yeah. Good. Okay. So this is it for Squirrels today. But what we are going to do now is we're going to swap over to the military question I had. And we're going to look at the potential of a defense here. Or the potential of an offense. Well, I mean, you're free to leave if you like. But remember supply and demand, right? If your demand is of me talking, unfortunately there's only one me and I can only do one talk at a time. And in this case, I am talking about the defense of this. What timestamp are we at? We're at 47 minutes. Okay. Where I just let me add it in. Stamp 47. Let's say 47:30 for the military. Oh, I can't. Click save. There we go. Click save. Excellent. Okay, so I just want to go over this particular situation and talk about what I think could potentially be an answer. And that's particularly it's a little bit more poignant, and it is something that I haven't seen many people do. So I've posed this as a question, and a lot of people have given the answer of, cross over and then essentially screen the city and then move south through it. And while that is certainly possible, it is not what I envisioned it to be. So let us do this, right? So this is the units. No, I should separate out the city, which I haven't done here. Just give me one quick second. I'm gonna separate out the city. Don't worry, stuff is happening. Don't worry. I'm gonna separate out the city. And this is unit 1. Let's duplicate that. I'm gonna lock this entire layer. Turn it into, oh, I can't. Oh no, I did. Okay. So now we're gonna talk about this. So essentially, my idea is a little bit different from everyone else's in that I'm of the not like that. I am of the opinion that instead of going north, we should actually be going south. So yeah, the cavalry will still move north. Oops. I really need to redo the artillery. Because our artillery is so much better than the enemy's, we're going to use them in a slightly different way. So 2 is like this. I'm gonna use them in a slightly different way. Once again, we just group. There we go. Grouped. So I'm going to send the artillery to the south. Yeah, excellent. So the artillery are going to go to the south like this, and they're going to aid us in actually capturing the southern part of the city. And so in this case, I'm going to send, oops, 4 divisions like this with the artillery out front, and just push that. Push into here, place the artillery in a position that cuts off communications between the 2 cities, and then use the 4 divisions to cut that. While in the north, it's essentially a screen, right? Like where we're screening it like this. Anyone, if they want to come across over this bridge, there is a rear guard in place. The cavalry will cross here. If the cavalry is unable to cross here, it is also able to cross. Oops. If the cavalry is unable to cross here, it is also able to cross like that. And so, oops. The idea becomes send the cavalry across to be very, very mean to the enemy's rear while I take the southern city. Right, so let me just duplicate this again. Now set that to, oops, to 3. Lock. There we go. And so once the artillery is, or the cavalry is across, like this, it can do it can just go ham, right? The idea isn't really to use the cavalry as line infantry, because that's kind of not very interesting. Why? Well, you give up a lot of flexibility when you do that, and that's not always a very good thing, right? So the cavalry can cross. In this case, if the response is to send the 4 divisions across the bridge or into the city across the bridge to garrison this area, then you essentially have won, right? Because 4 brigades in the rear just cutting up your supply train is fundamentally not very likely. Like you can't outlive that. Like that's just impossible. Because this is how many? This is 4, 5. That's 90,000 men, and all of the civilians that require what am I saying? That require supplies, and if that's all cut off, then there's no way, right? So, however, if the enemy draws these 2 away to, oh, I don't have the blue. Let's do the blue. Is that the blue? That's the blue. That blue. Not that blue. Oh my god. Okay. That blue. Done. Okay, if the blue force takes essentially these two formations and drives it here, then that means there's less here, and that means there's less that can support this attack. And given that our artillery are essentially superior, the idea is we can capture the east bank and potentially then push onto the west bank, right? So let's say in the case, let me just move that. In this case, let's say that we have captured it. We have won the counter battery fire. We have captured that. This is now, let's set those to 2. No, let's set those to 1. Okay. No, 1, 3, or 5. No, not 5. 3. Okay. Okay. Promise this is the last one. And so if we have this, we have now a blocking force in place. You know, like, even if we lose a division, in a division's worth of men in the capture of this city, that is still come on. Lock down the city. There we go. Okay. So even if we lose a division's worth of men, we still have now put the artillery in the proper place where they need to be. And so let me set that to 1. Yeah. And so black as a force is able to, what is it? What am I looking at? It's so weird. Anyway, okay. And so black as a force is now able to cross in this direction. Oh, it's because of that. Okay. Black as a force is now able to cross in this direction and capture the small city, while these forces remain in blocking positions. I mean, this is all my own conjecture, right? Like, don't take this as simply what it should be. And now we'll just do the finale. The finale of which is essentially a capture of the city, or of only the southern part of the city, because once the southern part of the city is captured, it's essentially over, right? So I'm gonna ungroup this. 2 artillery divisions move. Artillery regiments move there. Ideally, we'll have a capture of the city. Calm now, calm now. Oh, did I move? Okay, no, we're good. Yeah. So this moves across. And once you're across, you can just hole up in here and wait for them to come attack you. There's no reason why you can't, right? So that's 1, that's 2. You're essentially just hiding behind your superior artillery, and you will have 1 regardless. And in the north, like these don't really matter anymore, right? Like you'll have probably something along these lines. You have something along these lines. But by then, since you've captured the southern part of the city, your own supply lines are fine coming in from this area. So the idea is now you can, whether you need to capture the full city or whether you need to how should we say, whether you can just keep it in what am I trying to say? Whether you have to capture the city or whether you can just screen it is, that's a bigger operational and strategic issue. But it is my opinion that via this way, you are capturing this one part of the city at minimal losses, while leaving the heavy fighting to later. Like you're essentially deferring it, but you're deferring it in such a way that by deferring you are actually helping yourself, since all of this supply is in danger, right? And so you take the weaker, like if you actually have to take the target, yeah, you take the weaker one with the minimal losses, and then you commit your forces to a more hardcore battle, I guess is what I'm trying to say, right? And obviously I didn't move blue as much today, simply because, well, we assumed that blue is all about the defense of the city, so it's not going to commit to an open field, right? And so once this happens, well, blue has to move to come down to screen this. And supply situation here is going to be crazy. Right? We did delete 2 blue divisions off here. Or did we? Yeah, we probably did. Well, regardless, yeah, so this is my particular answer to this question. I do not presume to have an answer. First of all, because it is a counterfactual. Second, because there are just a ton of different factors that can come in and completely screw everything else up. My interpretation and answer to the military question, which I do not claim is correct, but solely based on my own information. Okay. Yeah, so my own, let's not say information, understanding. Right, so again, the idea is fairly simple. Just not to belabor the point, we started off with this kind of information, and it was my idea that we take the southern city, screen the north, and once the south is taken and there's no possible, escape here or anything else, we then turn towards the city itself. And so that's essentially what we did by moving our artillery to the south, forcing the cavalry, or sending the cavalry northwards into the rear of the city, right? And then we leverage our artillery to take the southern city and push against the both the east and then the western shore. And then once we have done that, the city itself is now screened in such a way that it makes it very, very difficult for them to actually do anything. Let's say I want it to be 3. Can I do that? Yeah, let's do 3. 5. Oops. No. Actually, 5 is fine. 5, 10, 15. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm done for today. Do we have any questions? Do we have any questions that do not attempt at questioning the soundness of my mental health? Do we have any questions that do not question the soundness of my mental health or my physical abilities? Do we have any questions that do not That do not question the soundness of my mental health, my physical abilities, or my parentage. Parentage. Parentage? Parentage. Now that is a good question. What are we doing tomorrow? We did do a reverse merger of a Go spec, didn't we? We did do the spec did take Go public. So now in the Discord there is a Go corporation. Where's our regulator today, by the way? Isn't she usually here? Oh, okay. Well, I mean, let's not disturb that. But yeah, now I feel a bit lost with without her here to guide us. Yeah, no. We are doing the what? The Go tomorrow, I believe, right? Actually, we haven't done the auction yet, have we? No, we're waiting for her. Yeah, okay. So she'll come back, we'll do the auction, and then we'll know what we're doing tomorrow. I personally would be happy to continue with the Go. I very much enjoy the... How do you say? I very much enjoy the discussion of the strategies there, and I might actually go so far as to start a game and then ask the AI to take over. That would be actually exceptionally interesting to me. So if that is what's happening tomorrow, then yay. If not, that'll probably happen on Tuesday. Well, I mean, it is an open lottery. Not open lottery. It is an open bidding process, so yeah. I mean, as an individual, yeah. So sorry. For those of you who came here for the military questions, I'm sure most of you have left by now. But from here on out, we're not going to be discussing this anymore. Just some little bits of housekeeping for my Discord. Yeah. So, oh yes, goodbye to the rest of you. For the Discord, I don't see a reason why you couldn't participate in the auction as an individual. You're simply more likely to have the resources to win an auction in the form of a corporation. I have no idea what the winning bids are. I have not seen the money that's in the pot. I have not even withdrawn. I've not even logged into that PayPal account. I just keep getting emails every time you guys sponsor to see that something has been sent to it. But no, I haven't actually seen any of it. So yeah. Sorry, that was a long-winded answer. The short answer is yes. By all means, if you want to do your own sponsorship, sure. I think it's easier if you can do it in a corporation, simply because you'll have more resources. But that is an excellent question. And why didn't you guys explain it to our newest members? Well, no, that's okay. Any other questions before we could finish for today? Nope. Okay. Excellent. Well, it was a pleasure as always. You guys, I will say I very much enjoy the discussions you have on the side about this content. The discussions you have not about my content, I don't particularly care for. No, it's not that I don't care for you guys not doing it. It is that I don't, like you guys have those conversations regardless of whether I'm here or not. But sometimes I do feel like you guys need me in the background before you can actually speak properly for whatever reason. So yay, you're welcome. Yes. We will continue tomorrow, and that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, I almost forgot. No, that's not it yet. In conclusion, please download Firefox. Please don't do Chrome. And I like that this can still catch one or two of you by surprise. That's very nice. I'm very, very happy about that. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I shall see you guys tomorrow. Bye bye.